Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my studio. This is Paint with Lovejoy. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you're here for the first time, thanks so much. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can check out my other videos. And if you're here for a second or third or fourth video, thank you so much for your support. Greatly appreciate it, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be giving tribute to Van Gogh and kind of focusing on his very expressive impressionistic style and painting one of his iconic pieces. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And Van Gogh is a very popular paint at home subject matter. So I think you guys are going to enjoy this. With this painting and any painting that I teach, you are more than welcome to switch out colors, change it up, make it your own. And quite a few people do that even with the old master paintings. So feel free to change out and make it what you want. What you're going to see in the description box below is a link to a supply kit. And in that supply kit are all the colors, paints, brushes, surfaces that you might need to get started painting at home. So grab any of those extra supplies that you might need and then pick up the video for the painting portion. When you are a little bit more comfortable with your painting process and you want to take your skills to the next level, check out my online school, paintwithlovejoy.com, and check out my featured course on there, Paint Your Pet. And you will be painting from your own pet photograph, and I'll go through the process on how to break it down and pick which photo and go through the process of painting. But when you paint something you care about, it's a whole new ball game for you. And you actually learn more and you put more energy into making it awesome. And it's your pet, so it's going to be awesome. And that course is geared towards first-time and beginner painters. So check it out and just keep evolving your skills as you get more and more into the creative process. So I think that's enough talking. Let's go ahead and get started painting. Alright guys, it's going to be another fun painting for my first time painters. So grab your supplies, make sure you take your progress photos, and we're going to jump right into painting and starting with our background. So we are going to start with that large flat brush and a light blue. So I like to pull the white aside. A tiny amount of blue goes a long way. So you see where I kind of grab the tip of it, and then I end up adding more white to it. So the more that you paint, the more you're going to kind of understand what it takes to make some of these colors. So if this is your first time painting, any shade of light blue will work. So don't feel like you have to get it perfect. So we're going to start with putting a horizon line on there and just kind of about 4 or 5 inches from the bottom of your canvas, just draw a line straight across. And then we're going to kind of create this abstract shape above this line and below. And if your space, your shape that you make here happens to be bigger or smaller than what I do, totally okay. I want you to just kind of get comfortable with applying the paint to the canvas. And if you're using student grade paint like I am here, I do recommend that you apply your paint a little bit thicker. It will help with some of the blending and it gives you a bit more of an opaque coverage. And if you're holding your breath right now, take a deep breath, inhale, relax. You're doing a great job. You are going to do better than you think you may be capable of. I'm really proud of you for painting. And sometimes that first painting is kind of scary and intimidating, but you got to get it out of the way so that way you kind of can enjoy the process of painting more. So here you saw that I'm actually just grabbing that direct white. I want to go a little bit lighter in a few areas. So by grabbing that direct white and then applying it on top of the light blue, it's making it a little bit lighter. So again, just kind of play with that. Your brain's taking in so much information right now as you paint at home, as you get comfortable with holding the brush and mixing the colors. Be kind to yourself. I'm really proud of you for stepping out of your comfort zone and doing this. So it was a good place to pause the video and take your progress photo. We're going to move in with kind of yellow first. We're going to start putting in those fall leaves. We've got some fall leaves on the ground. You've got some that are sitting up a little bit higher. And we're kind of using that middle flat brush. We're going to start with yellow with a little bit of orange. And again, it's just because my yellow is on the transparent side. So it helps by adding the little touch of orange to it. And here we're just either making little dots or little dash marks. And as we go through this, you are strengthening your power of observation. So I want you to observe where I place it on the canvas and then mimic that to the best of your ability. Now you can overlap some of that light blue. It may change a little bit of color. Just grab more paint and then go back and you can apply a little bit more. But you'll kind of enjoy the very stress-relieving therapeutic aspect of kind of tapping the brush or making these dots. And for my first-time painters with a painting like this, I say take out anything that has frustrated you this week or today or this month or this year. You can literally, if your canvas is flat on the table, you can hit it pretty hard, and you will feel better after the process of painting. So sometimes it's nice just to physically do something and work out our frustrations. And painting is an excellent avenue to be able to do that. And as you can see, I am using student grade paint, so some of my paint's on the transparent side. We will be giving a second coat, second round of this after we put the tree trunks in and the tree branches, so you can kind of build some of that opacity as needed. And if you need to mix your color again, or if you end up start moving into orange like I just did there, it's okay. We're going to be hanging out between the shades of yellow, orange, and then even throwing some red in there. So we're hanging out with our really warm colors. And a lot of people really enjoy looking at nice warm colors. And I did want to make sure that we had something kind of contrasting it. So that's why we kind of have that light blue sky. And then below that horizon line, we'll kind of turn it into a little hint of a river of water. All right, so here we're actually adding a little bit of red, making a red-orange, going a shade darker. Same kind of tapping method. You are overlapping some of the other oranges and the yellows, and you'll notice again that it maybe picks up and changes color. That's all part of this painting and part of the process. You're doing great. You're an abstract painter right now. And again, if you realize you're holding your breath, exhale as you touch the brush to the canvas, and it'll make it a little bit easier for you. We tend to hold our breath when we're a little bit more nervous. And it's just paint. You don't have to be nervous. You're going to do great. I tell all my students the only way to fail at painting is to not paint at all. So just the fact that you're attempting this, you're stepping out of your comfort zone, your brain, like I said earlier, is taking in a lot of information. You're doing great. And this is what keeps us young. This is what keeps us healthy, constantly challenging your brain and your perception and learning new skills and discovering talents you didn't realize you had. So if you need to, I think we're even moving into kind of that direct red already. If you want to go a little bit darker. And if you want more orange or more yellow than what I have on here, feel free to add more of the color you like. This is your fall painting to adjust and add as needed. I am here merely just for simple guidance and encouragement. All right, another good place to pause the video and take your progress photo. We're going to clean the brush really good, and you're actually going to move into black paint. And I do recommend letting this dry. I don't believe I let it dry when I was doing the video, but at home it will help immensely if you let this paint dry and then do your tree trunks with the black over it. If you're too eager like I was, you just apply your paint a little bit thicker on top of the wet paint. Black's a pretty powerful color, and it will overpower a lot of other things. So I kind of put the base for 2 trees at the bottom, and then we're going to kind of make this bigger trunk and then some arms shooting off of it. You have full permission to put a different type of tree, to put more branches in there. If you want to do a brown tree, if you wanted to even switch out the leaves to be shades of green instead of the yellows and oranges, full permission to change what you want for your painting. And again, you can kind of see that I am holding that brush at a bit of a 45-degree angle, applying that black paint pretty thick. But again, like I said, my background is still wet. I was eager to film this, so I did not wait for my paint to dry. I usually do. And again, remember to breathe. You're doing great. If you need to pause the video at any point where I don't recommend pausing it, go right ahead.
And again, you're just strengthening your power of observation with what you see on the screen and then translating that to your canvas. And this is a skill that gets better with more practice and the more that you utilize it. So art's not about being perfect, but it's about doing a little bit better than maybe the last time that you painted. And if this is your first time painting, then I want you to paint again, and then you can kind of judge that painting against your first one. And hopefully you'll see your skills improve as you paint more and your comfort level improve. So as I'm moving into the smaller branches, I am holding that brush sideways using kind of light pressure. If you need to switch down to the small pointy brush, go right ahead and do that. And either brush, if you treat it kind of like a pencil and use just the last 2 millimeters of the bristles, then it makes it a little bit easier to make some of these skinnier lines. Again, this comes with practice. The more that your muscles get comfortable with holding the brush, and even your brain gets comfortable with kind of recognizing the pressure or what you are observing. So adding the other trees kind of in a line, and notice that the tree closest to us is the closest one to the bottom of the canvas as well. That gives a nice little hint of perspective. All right, so a good place to pause the video and take your progress photo. We're going to make kind of a light gray and give a hint of some of the trees on that horizon line. So clean that brush really good. We're going to start with white paint and add black to it. A little bit of black goes a long way. And we're going for roughly light gray to even a medium gray. Yours might be a little different than mine. And I am still using that medium flat brush, holding it sideways to make the smaller lines, but you can also use that small pointy brush. Again, if you're finding that your brush is kind of shaky as you're making these lines, exhale as you touch the brush to the canvas. And if you have to make that shade of gray a second or third time, don't stress about getting the exact same shade every time. So a few of those trees that are kind of in the background, in the distance, in between the bigger trees, and any little branches you may want to add. Trust your instincts as you do this painting. Like I said earlier, you don't have to follow exactly what I do, but just use this as a guideline as you move along your painting. All right, so another spot to pause the video and take your progress photo. We're going to go back to yellow. And again, it helps if you let your painting dry, but we're going to go back and add the second layer on there. And I like waiting until after we have our base and then adding the yellow, because that yellow needs the darker colors next to it so it pops and has a little bit more contrast. And even just kind of take note as you're adding basically the same saturation of yellow, what it looks like when you put it next to the blue. Is it kind of thin and maybe looks a little bit green? If that's the case, then apply it a little bit thicker or do a second coat. And then what does that exact same yellow look like when you put it on top of the red or on top of the orange? And as you paint, your brain's taking in all this information and just assessing it. So observe yourself and observe the process while you're painting. And on that right-hand side of the canvas, I actually didn't put any of the blue, so I am going to make sure that my yellows and oranges completely cover that. So if you have a spot on your canvas that didn't get a color, make sure some of these fall leaves colors just kind of go in that area, so that way you have your entire canvas covered by the time we're done. And I am being rather generous with the amount of paint, so you may end up using more paint on this particular one than maybe some other paintings that you do in the future. And it's good to even do that, kind of get comfortable with thicker paint. We call it kind of impasto style. And then maybe do another painting that's closer to watercolor, to where you're using a lot of water and thinning out the paint. They both produce different results, and you need to find what you enjoy working with. And you never know until you try. All right, so going back to that yellow and orange color combo, it can be as light or as dark as you want it to be. And doing the same thing, just overlapping, filling in the space, maybe where it's a little bit thinner, Notice that I am overlapping some of the branches and even the tree trunks, and then putting some of that on the ground. And again, kind of look at your painting from that distance of 5 to 10 feet away, assess, figure out where you want more of a particular color, and go back in and add it. You guys are doing a great job. And hopefully while you are painting, you get so kind of caught up in your process of painting that you forget about the rest of the world for a little bit. And that personally is the reason why I create and why I'm a painter. I traditionally paint with a palette knife, so very different than what this video is, but it's my escape from the world and I absolutely love it. I would not be a balanced individual if I did not have my creative outlets. And I'm very happy to actually share the skills with you guys at home. I'm thrilled with how much the online school and the YouTube channel has been taking off, and the pictures you guys send me and the stories of how you tried painting and enjoyed it, and how some of you are really taking it to whole new levels for yourself. I'm really, really proud of you, and it gives me a lot of encouragement to keep making videos on a regular basis for you guys. All right, so I think we're on the orange now, just kind of filling in the spaces. Again, thinking of maybe each little blob as a leaf that is either still on the tree or has fallen off and is on the ground. And then now moving into the red, and that's kind of our darker color, our higher contrast. And if you need to, you can use the other brush. You can kind of turn it sideways. If you need to rotate the canvas upside down because it's easier to get to the edges, go right ahead and do that. And also, if you're on a stretched canvas, maybe carry these particular colors around the edge when you get close to the edge with any of those. That way, when you hang it on your wall, it just looks nice having that color wrap around the edge. All right, another good spot to pause the video and take your progress photo. We're going to move down to the pointy brush, or you can kind of stick with that same middle flat brush and use it sideways. But we're going to make a medium gray because I forgot to put the reflections of the trees in there. So a medium to light gray. Doesn't have to be exactly what you created the first time, but we need a hint of that reflection. And here you can see that I put it on there and then realized it wasn't dark enough, so I went back and adjusted my color. That is part of the art process, so don't feel bad if you need to go back and maybe work on an area from the beginning or add something. Art is not like a linear process at all, so it's okay to kind of go back and forth. And I'm grabbing just a little bit more black because the paint was wet when I did the tree trunk, just intensifying that a little bit. So if you need to, go ahead and do that while you have the darker colors on your brush. Then we're going to clean the brush and use a medium to light blue. We're going to give some little indication of the ripples on the water. All right, so pause the video, take your progress photo. And like I said, we're going to be making a medium blue or a light blue. Your call. Actually, I think in this one I start with the medium blue and then I do work my way down to a light blue. So again, using the light pressures, that small pointy brush, we're basically kind of keeping rather horizontal lines that can have a little bit of a wiggle to them. I do want you overlapping those tree trunks at the bottom, some of the leaves. We're given the indication that we have water here, and what is above the water is reflecting onto it. And these simple little lines tells our brain that there's a little bit of water running through this area. And it takes just a little hint of it for our brain to kind of pick up that call. So again, between your medium blue and light blue, we're making these little horizontal lines on top of the area. Again, pause the video as needed and just kind of observe the placement where these lines are. And look at your painting from that distance of 3 to 5 feet away and go, do I need a blue line here? Do I need a light blue here? Trust yourself with what your instincts are telling you. And as I was doing that, I realized I didn't have some of the reflection fall leaves underneath where those tree trunks were, so I'm going back and adding them. So like I said earlier, it is okay to kind of bounce around your painting as you are completing it. Nothing's wrong with that. You're still learning no matter what order you do your painting in. And then if there's any other places where you want your fall colors to be or any final details, if you want to put a message in the tree, if you want a tire swing or a swing hanging down from that branch, go ahead and make this painting unique to you. So thanks so much, you guys. I really appreciate you painting with me. Until next time, cheers.
Hey guys, how's it going? I hope your paintings turned out really nice and I hope you enjoyed the process of painting. I'm really proud of you. Good job. As you're uploading your pictures to social media, please tag me at or hashtag paintwithlovejoy or email them to me, paintwithlovejoy@gmail.com. It truly is through you guys sharing my channel and videos, you sharing your work, that encourages other people to paint. And then when I post your guys' pictures on my social media, it encourages more people to paint. So please keep spreading the word. This channel is as successful as it is based on your guys' support and feedback. So you have brought it here. Let's keep it going. Any questions, comments, things you want me to paint in the future, please leave a comment in the description box below and I'll add it to my production list. And keep on painting, keep on getting creative. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. Really appreciate it. And I look forward to painting with you in the future. Cheers.